And pause and see if there's anything that you might be able to experience by working through this with the expectation of presence by others, since we're recording it.
Well, which part? Because
I don't know, and I don't want to dictate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inviting you. You've laid the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what are we going to eat?
I guess maybe what's more, let's look, they're both, I mean, one is more interesting to me in the world and the worldly kind of, and the other is more interesting to me in the development of my own understanding of myself. I mean,
So just pause. No, just pause.
okay.
Consider that you've got it. If you have two pieces, they're just two ways to the same goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of having to choose, which is dualistic.
Right, right.
Start with one.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's an interesting. I see the combination now, because the child is impatient. The child self is impatient, and the higher self is very patient.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting that you're going with that, because I hadn't really even thought about applying that learning to the second part of this, which I see now exactly how valuable that is, because I was still thinking about, trying to manifest things by using these two energy currents and sort of yinging and yanging between the two of them. But there's actually a more direct route, which is if you're able to harness your ego to connect with your higher self, you're just sort of in the zone. And whatever you're doing, whether you're cleaning up the kitchen or trying to create something, you're in the zone, and it flows, and it
Mm-hmm.
becomes almost effortless.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very good tool, actually, rather than, because the one, I'm still more in my head. It's like I get it, I know I can't grasp. If I grasp, I'm not going to get it. It's a very analytical, heady thing. I know, okay, and I actually, if I feel that force and current coming on, if I'm trying to do something professionally, I stop doing what I'm doing, which is kind of a, okay, it stops the force and current, but it also stops the productivity. Whereas
So
if I can,
pause
yeah,
again.
yeah,
So we created a deadline as a tool to encourage.
yeah.
Okay. So just breathe into, what would you like to eat?
Yeah. This
What's
is
the
very,
what's the common denominator in these two? Go directly to the common denominator. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
the common denominator is using your ego faculties to connect to your higher self and bring that into this, bring that right up into whatever it is that you're doing, so that you're like connected to the mothership. And
Okay.
I can feel it.
Hang on 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I've heard 2 verbs so far. Why I
Uh-huh.
write all these notes. Okay.
Okay.
I heard harness and using.
Okay.
Both are acts of self-will.
Yes. That's always my default.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's always my default.
Just breathe that in for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would invite you to consider that the value of this little mini thing is to bring attention to what is, and that's what I'm noticing is on the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did not hear invite.
Right. Invite, which is better actually, because that's what if you invite that energy, it responds. You don't have to use your will. You don't have to harness it or capture it or rustle it to the what's the right
Right.
rustle it to the ground like a cat. You don't have to do that. If you just invite it, it will respond. It will present itself.
So this would be the place where the 2 aspects, the world versus understanding yourself. The world has invited you to flex these muscles.
Yes.
Okay. And spiritual work invites you to not depend on the muscles.
Yes.
So the corollary here is even in the words, the phrasing, the outlook, the approach. It's about capturing, harnessing, using.
Exactly. It's my will.
Right.
Yeah. Which is my default. Still my default. Always. That's how I went through life. And then in the sense I started the path work, it's less and less and less, but it's still the default.
Right. So just
Because
pause.
it's worked.
Well, exactly.
I would have, if it had been less effective, I would have given it up a long time ago. But it's been pretty effective in this particular lifetime.
So my invitation is to see that that is the seduction.
Yes, yes. That is the seduction. It's like I can hear it in my head. It's like, what are you going in a different direction for? This has always worked for you. You know how to play in this sandbox, and
Mhm.
you got this one licked. So why are you going anywhere else but here? Come here. Very, very seductive and powerful for me.
Okay. So what I want you to notice right now is that the lower, you named the lower self before,
Mm-hmm.
a child. I invite
Mm-hmm.
you to consider that that's one aspect of the lower self.
Definitely.
This is another aspect.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because it's like I want what I want and I want it right now. And I don't want to many times have to
Okay.
go through this.
No, I want to distinguish the 2.
Okay.
The I you're speaking of is the ego,
Yes.
but it's being fed junk food by the lower self.
Yes. Yes.
The important thing here is to distinguish that the ego is speaking, but it's speaking because it has been influenced. That's what seduction means.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So the I want to, it captured an immature part of you.
Yes. My old standby.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what this mini thing was intended to capture. The next phase of your work.
Mm.
Because the other stuff you've already done.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So I have alarms starting to go off all over because we're going to have a group meeting in 20 minutes.
Okay.
And that was the intention, to box this in
Right.
so we didn't float away.
Okay. No, okay.
So it's something to consider, something to play with. I feel like a pausing point.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll be thinking about this. Probably bring it back up on Sunday.
Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you. Good luck with your meeting.
Thank you. You take
Okay, bye.